And?
Yes, that is your hand. Very good.
We're all gonna die.
I hope so. Oh, for God's sake.
What happens when you give the director of Guardians of the Galaxy free rein to make his very own Suicide Squad movie? Let's find out as we review James Gunn's The Suicide Squad, out now on 4K, Blu-ray and DVD at Sanity. I'm Nick, welcome to this week's Insanity. It's been only 5 years since we got a Suicide Squad movie, but after 2016's disappointing effort, DC and Warner Brothers decided to give us this soft reboot as they try to hold together the pieces of their shared cinematic universe. This time around, we have a mix of fresh faces and old favourites, but the premise remains the same. A group of villains are sent on an almost suicidal mission, action ensues.
You know the deal. Complete the mission, you get 10 years off your sentence. You fail to follow my orders in any way, and I detonate the explosive device in the base of your skull.
Love him or hate him, these are your brothers and sisters for the next few days.
Margot Robbie, Joel Kinnaman and Viola Davis all improve on their 2016 roles, but it's Idris Elba and John Cena that stand out as new additions to the team, Bloodshot and Peacemaker. We also get some solid performances from Daniela Melchior as Ratcatcher 2 and David Dastmalchian as Polka Dot Man, not to mention the iconic Sylvester Stallone as King Shark.
Supervillains. Sad souls in costumes. Wanting you to think they're all dark and deep. What's it like? Living life as a punchline. But all it would take would be one blessed act of rebellion for you to restore your dignity in its entirety.
It's clear from the get-go that this film is vastly different from its 2016 counterpart. Tonally, everything is much brighter. This is particularly noticeable with the comic-accurate costumes and the Guardians of the Galaxy-esque humour. The story is also told in a non-linear way. James Gunn uses this perfectly to engage us in the story and create questions we need answered.
You gotta be kidding me. You're gonna risk the entire mission for a mental defective dressed as a court jester.
This coming from a guy that wears a toilet seat on his head.
We don't leave one of our own behind.
Hopefully Harley's still alive.
No funny business, Colonel. These are dangerous people.
Team 2 is clear to go.
Fire up. 3, 2.
What are you guys doing?
What?
We're here to save you.
You were gonna save me?
It was a really good plan, too.
Well, I can go back inside and you can still do it.
That's patronizing.
I'm so sorry. Harley Quinn.
Bloodsport.
DCEU movies tend to err on the side of serious and gloomy. But The Suicide Squad is the opposite. This film doesn't take itself too seriously, and this is perfectly demonstrated by the new characters we are introduced to. From a villain who uses polka dots as weapons to a literal man-shark, Gunn has fully embraced the sheer ridiculousness of comic books. And if you're still not convinced, the big baddie is an alien starfish.
Is this thing a dog?
A dog? What kind of dog do you think it is, mate?
I'm gonna go with Afghan Hound.
Oh my god, is it a werewolf?
Yo, they sent me next to a werewolf! Yo, let me out!
Hey, he's not a werewolf, okay? He's a weasel. He's harmless. I mean, he's not harmless. He's killed 27 children, but, you know.
But as ridiculous as this movie is, there is an underlying humanity to every character. This drives us to connect with these villains and see them as much more than expendable. This is a double-edged sword though, because unlike in 2016, the Suicide Squad really lives up to its name. James Gunn sets up the film so that we know that the mission is far from safe, and this keeps us glued to the screen for the entire runtime.
Here's the deal. We fail the mission, you die.
If we find out any information you give us is false, you die.
If we find out you have personalized license plates, you die.
What? No.
If you cough without covering your mouth...
Harley, although that isn't an open invitation for you to cough without covering your mouth.
What's the plan?
How the hell am I supposed to know?
You're the leader. You're supposed to be decisive.
And I've decided that you should eat a big bag of dicks.
If this whole beach was completely covered in dicks, and somebody said I'd eat every dick until the beach was clean for liberty, I would say no problemo.
Why would someone put penises all over the beach?
Who knows why madmen do what they do?
The humanity of these characters also gives the film some heartfelt moments. And what's more, they do not feel forced at all. The Suicide Squad does a really great job at making us question the intentions of our villains, which in turn makes us question whether they are in fact villains at all. And this is exactly what Gunn wants us to think, because with the wool over our eyes, he can truly shock us with the twists and turns this film has up its sleeve.
Robert Dubois. He's in prison for putting Superman in the ICU with a kryptonite bullet.
I'm not joining your Suicide Squad.
We'll see.
My court date is coming up. And Miss Waller said maybe you could help me out.
You're flexing in my door!
Everyone stand down.
Miss Waller, I don't...
Stand down!
I wouldn't take such extreme measures if this mission went more important than you could possibly imagine. Are you in or out?
If there is a criticism of this film though, it's that it's a bit messy. The Suicide Squad is packed full of action, funny dialogue, and character development from each and every one of our main characters. What's lost though is a coherent plot. At times in this movie, it feels like we're just moving from action scene to action scene, funny moment to funny moment, without any logic behind it, lessening the impact of these moments.
This is suicide.
Well, that's kind of our thing.
Don't get me wrong though, this movie is a joy to watch. It's visually stunning, action-packed, and relentlessly funny. The Suicide Squad is an example of a pure comic book movie, and in a world ruled by MCU formula, it's a joy to see something that dares to be different. Here's hoping that DC and Warner Brothers listen to the fans and give us more comic-driven movies.
Ratatouille, what do you got?
Bird.
Now it. Stay off the comp.
Thanks for watching. What did you think of the Suicide Squad? Let us know in the comments below. And be sure to check out our Facebook and Instagram pages for more fun content every day. See you next time.